Hello guys, welcome to my channel again. And today topic is 3D brain tumor segmentation using UNet. The algorithm is built on upon TensorFlow, and the reason I'm creating this video because in my previous video the source code is being deprecated and most of the part of the algorithm is not compatible with the current TensorFlow version 2.5. So I created again the algorithm, and this time I don't use TensorPack. I actually use TensorFlow 2.1, and the algorithm is an extension of 3D unit. I'll move toward the algorithm later on, but let me give you an overview. What sort of data I am having right now. You can get the data from Brad's competition, and then I'll tell you each folder what are the mm, what images we have, what sort of tool you can use, and then I'll show you the prediction probability and give you an overview of the algorithm as well. So this is all about that's my data. For visualizing my data, actually I'm using Mango. I give an overview of this Mango tool on my previous video, but so once you have once you grab the data set from Brad's competition, you will get two folder like this, HGG and LGG. I do the basic pre-processing so that I can show you the visualization. Each folder inside the dataset consists 5 images. These images are in the form of NII or GZ format. What each for in this it contain a patch of images having size 512 and 512, and you cannot visualize these images. These are the medical data set directly, so you need a special type of tool to visualizing the image. What these images consist, basically these images consist the four different MRI section of the brain, and one the segmented part which is being segmented by the professional and being and added inside the folder. This segmentation portion consists basically tumor. Let me give you an overview. This is one of the image. Okay, you can see with the help of tool what these images look like. As you can see here, while I revolving the cursor, the image of brain is changing, and this sort of graphical overview it gives. So this is the portion of tumor which basically separately segmented by a professional, and you can see here the whole tumor portion. The overall tumor portion we used to call whole, while the green one is basically enhanced tumor. And this the when you move the cursor, you will see here the value on here 1. So 1 means tumor core. So our main target is to determine where the tumor core is present, what is the size of whole tumor, where the rest of the portion of the tumor, and what classes they belongs to. So 3D segmentation of UNet architecture is somewhat similar to this. Basically, it consists both type of it need to do both type of thing. First, it actually do the classification part, segmentation part, where it would be able to identify where the tumor is being located, and then the second part is on the top of it. It must be able to identify that on the tumor portion which one is the tumor core, which one is the which what is the size of whole tumor, and where the other part is available. Let me show you and my the result I have obtained. So these are the whole tumor, tumor core, and enhancing tumor. The white portion is enhancing tumor. You can see here pretty much with the help of Dice coefficient. If you guys new to medical image segmentation, we actually use in medical images, instead of using mean square loss, there's another coefficient being proposed by an author that we call dice coefficient, and the coefficient of dice coefficient value, the smaller the value of dice coefficient, better will be the prediction probability. So some of the box plot that what is like sort of dice tumor values we are getting, and the whole tumor is pretty good identifying, but the enhancing tumor is somehow showing the less accuracy. The better visualization, this is my final output. You can see here the quite stable one box plot. So let's move. I guess enough about data. I forgot to tell you that you can actually grab the data set from BRATS 2019. Just type it, and all you need to do, apply here, and for getting the data. Okay, you can apply other type of images like this is one of the implementation. I'm going to give you an overview of this implementation in the next tutorial. This is the lung segmentation. The lung segmentation is also work same as three brain tumor segmentation, and this is the MRI image. This is the graphical presentation GIF file. Let's move toward the algorithm part. Um, okay, so this is all about the algorithm. So what we are going to do, we are going to identify three label: tumor core, whole tumor, and enhanced tumor. So first we give the label, and then we move toward loading the data and other things. Okay, so I'm going to run the prediction file first. So guys, so this is basically our generator, and let me give you the overview of model. The model is pretty simple, guys, as you can see here. Basically, every time when you construct 3D unit, combinations of encoder, what it do basically, it decode the input image and then reconstruct the input image with some skipping layer. Let me check some high dimension images for you. So guys, consider this image. Basically, what the role of 3D unit, it consists, some sort of similar type of image I have shown you in the beginning. It takes as input, okay, and there's a one part of this input layer concatenate with the final layer of the decoder. So these part work encoder, while green will be work as decoder function with some skipping layer of parameter of encoder directly concatenate with the decoder function. So this is the similar. That's the similar way our algorithm will work. So the model architecture is here. Basically, I guess it's visible now. So what first we need to do, define some custom function, create convolutional block. If every convolutional block is basically consist of two convolutional neural network sequentially, and one final convolutional neural network having the kernel size 111 and stride 1. That means input and output will having the same type of same shape, but upsample corresponding to the number of filter. Number of filter I have used in my program is 16, plus an upsampling method. Upsampling is deconvolutional, work as decoder. Okay, so these custom function will be used on the main program. Okay, first take the input layer, create convolutional block, and it downsample, it acts as an encoder and keeps doing encoding until unless we can get the final, the smallest part of the uh, optimal features part from the input image, and then our upsampling block comes into existence, and finally our upsampling 3D block with output layer, the number of labels we want to segment in the main program. You can see the similar type of architecture while I do the debug, and I'm going to do debug from here. Let's see what we'll get. So guys, let's see how model is look like. Mhm. So once it reach here, it should wait. Okay, and inside the model summary will print automatically. Let's run the program. Okay, so process is finished. So this is the model I have created this time. Let me give you an overview of the model. Basically, my input image, I downsample it from 512 to 128. Okay, so that I can actually do the optimize with the memory. Okay, consist 4 layers. Okay, all type of tumor. These are the all type of input images. T1C, T2 flare, and T1 type of MRI scan. None stand for batch size. I'm using a small batch size, so I have used is instead of batch normalization, stance normalization. I will explain you stance normalization once I will reach out to there. Then I go to the downsample first encoder convolutional 3D. Okay, so input is 4 128 128. Output of uh, this convolutional 3D is 16 filters, and the shape will remain same as I told you previously. No, stride value is 1, and trainable feature will become 1744 at this point. Then I use instance normalization. The purpose of using instance normalization instead of batch normalization, unlike the traditional unit architecture, because in when we have a small batch size, okay, instance normalization work better. Eventually instance normalization actually would be capable to normalize the input feature and highlight the most dominated one while we have only one batch size. So then I use leaky value here, then second convolutional layer, no downsampling, then third, the first downsampling here with the fourth convolutional neural network. Okay, and now my I am having total trainable feature here is 13,856, where the number of filter is 32, and downsample is reached to 64 by 64. This process will keep continue until okay until unless I'll be obtain the sufficient feature which can be used for the encoding purpose. Then the encoder convolutional upsampling will start transpose function. So but basically it upsample from here, this point. This is the final downsample. Sorry, this point. This is the final downsample I have. Total number of filter is 256. Number of image will become downsample to 8 by 8 uh, metric size. None stand same as the the number of input for the batch size. Then the first upsampling filters is applying here. Okay, it upsample 8 to 16, then keep continue, then reach to the 32 decoder. Concatenation will be here. Basically, skipping layer. UNet work as a skipping at every point when it a sample, it basically replicate the encoder, mimic the encoder functionality, also the decoder functionality. So it upsample here, then it become 32, and final layer will consist three stand for basically the label. As we are having three label, whole tumor, tumor core and enhanced tumor. 128 stand for the segmented image. So the total trainable parameter I have used in this model is 10 million, and non-trainable one is 0 because I am using a stance normalization instead of batch normalization. So no non-trainable parameter. Every parameter change with the training. So training is really time consuming. I'm not going to waste, I'm not going to show in this video, but I can show you what sort of prediction, uh, how prediction will work. So let me open my model prediction file. All I need to do, give the name of any folder. So this folder is already available in my data, as you can see here. When we do the prediction, basically the validation part consists images. It also gives flare T1, T1 nice, T2, the truth, the original segmented one, prediction one, and I also added in prediction that every time it should generate the uh, GIF version of output. So you can see here prediction is mapped with the input, and you can see it's pretty good performing the well. Like let me open here again. You can see here this is the tumorous portion of the brain. So let's run the prediction. It takes couple of minutes and the folder will automatically keeps collecting the images on the prediction end. So let me see directly to the folder, reach out. The entire implementation is done in TensorFlow version 1.15. So first validation is actually comes up. You can see here it's generating, and GIF, in the GIF you can do easy visualization that where the tumor is being present. So it keeps generating the validations output. Okay, I actually do it for the single image. You can do it for the multiple images as well. So this is all about this video. I hope I try to explain what this 3D brain tumor segmentation is and how the model is look like. This for the small version of this source code I have uploaded in our website. You can see here. No, this one. So the smaller version of the code for for only one sort of prediction I have uploaded here. You can see with Neelan, and you can get the entire version of source code from here. So you can see that's the same, but for the smaller batch size, because while I generating this notebook, I was using Google Colab. Less trainable parameter, but accuracy is pretty good. And you can see here the loss, validation, dice coefficient, everything, and validation accuracy, and thereafter, yeah, model loss, dice coefficient, and how you can generate the prediction image with the help of, and how you can plot it, and what is the dimension of tumor, you can see here. So this is all about today. I hope um, you understand something. Prior to understand entire version of this source code, you must be able to learn few basic things about TensorFlow, and must have basic knowledge of how NEZ images look like, what is 3D segmentation, and eventually we provide various type of services. You can join our classrooms and um, call us directly to understand these models. Okay, charges are nominal. We can talk about it later on. So thank you guys. Thanks for watching. If you please don't forget to subscribe, because if you watch this video and you don't subscribe the channel, then you will miss the other videos, because tomorrow I'm going to explain you semantic segmentation and what is all about, and I give you an overview how the code will look like and what sort of output you can obtain with the semantic segmentation. You can see here this is the lung one. I have shown you in the video, and this uh, segmentation consists every part is spinal cord, and later on you will see where the heart is being located, where the lungs is being located, so everything. So this you don't miss. Okay guys, don't forget to subscribe the channel so that you can keeps getting the important and complex implementation algorithm and thesis topic, okay, in AI. Thank you and thanks for watching the video.